Hello and welcome to the Big Bad Bike Show, a podcast where we talk bollocks and for some reason you listen and we all pretend it's about bikes. This week we saw the BSB kick off round 1 at Silverstone, and that means that the season has well and truly begun. I'm your host, Sam Macaulay, and joining me as always is the up north biker, Ash Hall.
How do?
And bringing us news, it's Chris Chippy Ballard.
Hello.
If you're listening on YouTube, please hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, and that way you won't miss an episode. And you can also listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. However, if you're already listening to us, you probably know that.
So how is everybody?
Good.
Good.
Good Easter. Everybody have a good Easter time, or should we say spring holidays?
Yeah, it was decent. Except from getting absolutely loads of slaver from you two over the chat.
What about?
It was just constantly ripping into me.
We've proper bullied you this week.
You really have. Every day.
We haven't. You've been asking for it.
You have. How have I been
asking
asking for it? Because I've been on holiday.
No, because you went to Yorkshire.
You haven't helped yourself.
You went to Yorkshire and you took pictures. You took pictures of like a field and then sent it to us going, guess where I am? Well, we know you're in Yorkshire. And you're like, oh, guess where I am? Best country.
No, hang on.
Best place in the world. And it's like, oh, hold on a minute. Ulster doesn't have any green fields. Like, we don't have trees and hedgerows anywhere else but Yorkshire.
Actually, the picture that I took was on the title
You took a picture of
a really big...
You took a picture of a trailer.
No, the bench and that. The bench and... Oh, yeah, that was it with Dad's. I didn't say that, guess where I am. I said, this is the best place in the world, which it is. It's Yorkshire.
Your dad's
It looked like
trailer.
everywhere else in the UK.
It just looked like the back of some guy's yard.
No, but that picture I took with the bench and everything, and the shops in the background, that's on
It
the
didn't even look that good.
That's on the title screen of Heartbeat. How can you have never watched Heartbeat?
I did watch Heartbeat about 40 years ago. Chippy, you probably like Heartbeat because it's right up your street.
Well, I only watched it when I was like 5 years old, so I don't really remember it. But I might give it a watch because it does seem up my street.
Anyway, I've literally not watched Heartbeat in about, it must be going on 30 years since I watched Heartbeat. How the f*** was I supposed to remember a bench and a street?
What about the garage, Scripps Garage? Come on.
Is that why you took a picture of the field? Is that why you took a picture of the field? You're trying to say it was green grass? Little bit of Heartbeat knowledge there.
I also went to the platform where they filmed Harry Potter as well. The railway platform. That's pretty cool. Went to Whitby, had the best fish and chips in the world as well. There you go.
What did you got up to, Chippy?
Well, my family's been on holiday up here, so I've been off work. I'm back tomorrow though. But I'm working the weekend shifts the next few weeks, which means I'm going to have to watch the bikes on a pixelated screen because my hotspot isn't the best. But this week I've had a chaffinch in my garden.
You've had a what in your garden?
A chaffinch?
That sounds something rude. What? Say it again.
Chaffinch. It's a really nice little bird.
All right.
Ash, you're not going to tell us you don't know what a chaffinch is. You were wondering about Yorkshire like you're a wild man of Borneo. Oh, look at me in a field. Ain't I so mature in my little tweed shirt? And now you're going to tell us that you don't know what a bloody chaffinch is. Welcome to the Big Bad Bird Show. Well,
with Alan Titchmarsh.
Saying we're a bike podcast, I'll tell you what I've been up to this week. So, I've been fortunate enough not to be at work. And the other day, should I say, anticipating going to Silverstone, I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll go and get a back box for my bike, and that way I can put my helmet in. And I went to my local motorcycle dealer to get a back box, and they're like, we don't have one. We can order you one. It'll be here in a couple of days. But then I thought, but I walked into that shop with the intention of spending money, and so I ended up getting myself a new motorbike jacket to wear when I'm riding, and a new pair of gloves. Oxford jacket, Oxford gloves, run-of-the-mill sort of price, wasn't breaking the bank.
Yeah, well, Oxford stuff's good.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. It's a really good coat I've got. Like, it was. Good coat.
Do you know what? Oxford stuff for the price of it is really decent, I think. It's definitely one of the cheaper brands, but I'd definitely buy Oxford stuff.
I got a pair of gloves that were about 50 quid.
I tend to wear Alpine Stars, but Oxford, the stuff that Oxford are bringing out, especially with the waterproofs, it's the same technology as all the top branded Alpine Star stuff at a fraction of the price.
I've got a pair of Alpine Star shoes. Well, like boots. They're almost like Vans, but they're like boots. They go up your ankle a little bit, and they've got like some sort of lead at the bottom or something for protection. Nice and comfortable. I like them. My chain's Oxford. I've got an Oxford chain.
Oh, you got an Oxford chain?
Yeah.
What, as in to lock your bike up?
Yeah.
Oh, right. So a big chunky one.
Yeah. I've still not got a top box. But I was speaking to a pal.
Oh, well.
And he said, whenever you go to Silverstone, if you want to look after your helmet, just chain your bike up and put your helmet through the chain. I've already alluded to it. I went to Silverstone on Sunday to watch some of the bikes. I was by myself this Easter because my wife and kids went to my kids' grandparents, and I'm like the Easter Scrooge. I don't really like Easter. It doesn't make any sense. We're all like, yay, Jesus, and then we all eat eggs. But snakes eat eggs, and snakes are synonymous with the devil. So I don't get it. I don't get Easter.
I enjoyed Easter. Easter egg hunt and that. Easter games on the field. It was decent. Oh, by the way, do you like me? Do you like my new shirt?
I was going to mention that you're wearing your Mooney VR46. See, the thing is, to the listeners, Ash has been talking about this shirt for weeks, and he didn't wear it until VR46 won a race, and now he wears it. He's like, oh, now I can wear it because we won a race. You're such a glory hunter. Oh, I like Leeds because they're in the Premier League, and now they're being relegated. You're like, oh, I don't like football. You're such a glory hunter.
Hang on. No,
You've been talking about that shirt for weeks.
I bought the shirt before Marco Bezzecchi won the race.
Yeah, and you didn't wear it. You wouldn't wear it. You told us you weren't going to wear it.
No, because that. Right, hang on.
Like last week, it's even.
Hang on.
We can listen back to the recording. You were like, "Oh, I can wear a shirt now because Marco Bezzecchi's won race." You don't sound like that, but that's Yorkshire.
Obviously, that was just me messing about. But I didn't actually get the shirt until today because it got delivered while I was away.
I think we're teaming up in Chippy because you've got your VR46 shirt on. I've got my Valentino Rossi Yamaha. Right, well, on that note, we get on to our podcast rather than talking bollocks. A little bit of a change to normal proceedings. If you are listening and you don't usually get past this point, we have a little segment on the show which is called Who Am I? We usually have it at the end of the show, but now we think we'll bring it to the front of the show. It's where we give you some clues of a person and you email us in and try and guess who it is. So, who did it last week?
It was me last week.
Do you want to run through the clues and then give us the answer?
I can do. So, first clue was I was born in July 1961. I was keeping it vague, remember, for Big Dazza.
That's right.
Second clue is I had a strong Grand Prix career and claimed fourth in the 500cc class in 1990. And the third clue was I also won 3 BSB titles. And the answer was Noel Mackenzie.
So, once again, we've only had one email come in. And it was from Big Dazza. And he sent his email in saying he thinks it's Niall Mackenzie. He then sent me a voice recording explaining how he came up with Niall Mackenzie, and he said he had 3 names in his head, and he was saying why he narrowed out the other 2. Maybe that's just a ruse because he googled it. Who knows? I had to fucking Google it. But yeah,
we need to catch him out. We need to catch him out for a really good one.
Well,
I think
the thing is,
he's just got a bit bib for his boots. You know what I mean?
The thing is, we all can Google it, so it's. This week here,
true.
I've done
You're
this
never
week.
going to know, are you?
I've done this week's, unless we do it live. Maybe someday we'll do live shows. I've done this week's Who Am I? It's not very hard. I thought I'd make it a bit easy. I'm lying. I just forgot I had to do it until this evening. So I was like, oh shit, just pick somebody. And this is what I come up with. Right, so this week's clues are: I raced motorcycle Grand Prix between 1958 and 1967, and I won a total of 9 championships on 125, 250 and 500cc. My first entry in a Formula 1 Grand Prix was 1963, and my last entry was 1974. And I am in the top 6 riders with the most TT wins of all time. That's the 3 clues.
Hold on,
I got this.
Do you say
I got
Formula
this straight
1?
away.
Yes, I said Formula 1. Do you want...
I got it straight
Chippy,
away. I was quite proud of myself.
Chippy, do you want to email the chat and I'll let you know if you're right? Or not email the chat. Do you want to,
Oh yeah, that's the point actually. I might not have even got it right,
do you want
but
to,
I'm
do you want to put
assuming
it
I
into a
have,
group
'cause
chat and I'll tell you if you got it right?
it came straight to me.
No, you got it wrong. That's not right.
I don't even have to... No, I did not.
That is wrong.
Did I really?
Yeah. Chippy thought he had it.
Thick. Chippy's thick.
Did I really get that wrong?
Yeah, you did got it wrong, yeah.
I don't think I did.
You did get it wrong. Trust me, you got it wrong. It's a good guess.
Oh, yeah.
But
That's annoying.
do you know
Who
what
else was there?
No, I genuinely don't know it, but
Right, well, at home, if you think you know who it is, like again, try not to Google it. If you need to Google it, fine, Google it and let us know. We just want you to get in touch, get in contact, send us an email. But, play the game with yourself. If you think you know who it is, send us your answer to podcast@bigbadbs.co.uk and we'll read your name and your answer out in the show. If you don't want your name read out in the show, make up a name. As we're a bike podcast,
Your Who Am I is really bugging me.
Alright, well, keep bugging you. You've got to... I can bug you while you read the news. This is your segment. Check it.
Oh, is it that time now?
It's that time.
First bit of news, there's only a couple of bits this week. I don't know how to say his name. Carmelo Espeleta of Dorna has said there will be no MotoGP in Portimao in 2024 if they do not sort out the gravel in the runoff areas.
well, that's good news.
I haven't gone too much into that.
Well, it's not.
I don't think that is good news.
Well, all right. It's not. Well, no, but Portimao will sort that out now.
I don't know.
They will.
That's why. That's why it's good news.
It's been mentioned to them before, and they've still not done it. And the World Superbikes will still go there.
Yeah,
but
this is the first time that they've said, we're not going to do it unless you sort it out.
But I think Portimao.
And MotoGP is the biggest one, so
it really needs to be there, Portimao, because it's such a good track, isn't it?
It is, but they will sort that out now that they've threatened that.
But I was listening
they can't
today.
afford to lose the MotoGP.
I was listening today, and we did talk about it a few weeks ago when they were at Argentina. They weren't very happy with that track either because it doesn't get used apart from that one time in MotoGP. That Therma de Honda, whatever it's called, it only gets used that one time. So it's dusty and it's dirty. And I've heard some other journalists and the like talk about maybe a possibility of them going to Brazil because there's a track in Brazil where the World Superbikes go to. But the facilities aren't as good. It's kind of like Silverstone. It's a really good track, but the facilities aren't as good. But that's where like Formula 1 and stuff goes. But then they go to Argentina and it's like the track's not as good, but the facilities are really good. So that's 2 tracks down, and none of them have been up to scratch or up to standard for some reason. Let's hope they can do a better job. Circuit of the Americas. But COTA is amazing. It looks class, doesn't it? It looks like a fantastic track. The first time they went there for the first time about 6 or 7 years ago. They went there for the first time, I think, because they used to go to Laguna Seca. And the first time I seen it, I was googling flights to Austin. Well, you can fly to Austin, and then it's like an hour drive, and I think it's a fairly like easy drive because you're in the desert. I think. Maybe not. But yeah,
it's all straight roads in America. Yeah, it does look. Well, do you know what? It's absolutely nails on the game as well as COTA.
I actually quite like it on the game.
It's when you go up that big straight and you've got that really tight bend at the very end. I hate that. I never slow down enough for it.
Oh, on the massive back straight.
Yeah.
Well, just slow down a bit earlier then.
No, I
It's
can't.
probably my favourite track
because
on
I
that
like
game.
to dog everybody, and then I get to the end and my guy just high sides. He's just straight off.
Ash likes to do the Gran Turismo pass.
Gran
which,
Turismo
which
move.
we're now naming the Marc Marquez pass. He likes to do the Marc Marquez pass where you just bump into people instead of playing.
I knew this would come up again. I knew it.
No,
Do we know yet whether he's going to get the penalty? Has the appeal gone through, or?
I don't think it has yet. It's not been.
It's not even
But,
newsworthy
I mean, it's this
anymore.
weekend, so
No. Oh well, I hope he gets the penalty. Carry on. Yep.
Toprak Razgatlioglu will test the Yamaha YZR M1 MotoGP bike at a planned development test in Jerez on the 10th and 11th of April, which is today and tomorrow.
Doing that right now.
He had previously tested the bike, but it had been poor weather conditions and Lynn Jarvis wasn't there to see him. So, I mean, you can look into this however you want. It could be maybe a bit of a kick up the arse for Quartararo and Morbidelli, maybe to put a bit of pressure on him.
I tweeted
that
it.
he could
I
easily
tweeted
take
it
their
today,
seat.
just asking. So I retweeted the tweet that was on there, and it just said, "Is there room for Razgatlioglu on a Yamaha or any other bike?" I think you've discussed it as well, and I got a reply straight away. Somebody just said, "Morbidelli out, Toprak in." That's it. But that was only one reply.
Yes.
It was straight away Morbidelli out, Toprak in. But after last week's performance, but then thinking about it, Yamaha don't have a they don't have a satellite team, so maybe they need a satellite team. But then who goes to the
Not
satellite
yet.
team? Because if they let's say they have a
The
satellite
R46 team.
yeah. If they do get a satellite team, who's going to go? Toprak's not going.
Well, the thing is, Toprak said he's only going to go to MotoGP on a factory bike. He wouldn't look at a satellite bike. But he has also apparently hasn't ruled out the possibility of going to another manufacturer.
Yeah,
He's not saying it's exclusively Yamaha he wants to go to. It could be
he just wants to go to MotoGP.
anyone.
That's it.
I think he just really wants a MotoGP move, yeah. So yeah, but that is the end of the news.
How do you think he'll get on at MotoGP? Do you think he'd do well? Or do you think he would
I
struggle?
think he'd do pretty well.
I think he needs a season, wouldn't he, to get settled in?
Yeah.
But if
I don't think he'd be as good as people think.
the thing is, if you need a season to get settled in, are you going to get a factory bike? Factory bikes, they don't really want
Probably
a
not.
season to settle in. They want somebody that's coming up and going to do the business. Can't always get that though, but that's what they want. Because
I mean, if he doesn't do well, he can always go back to World Supers.
how many times has a rider come from Superbikes to MotoGP and done well? Like, I know you look back at what's his name, Carl Fogarty went to MotoGP, but that was after stellar.
Carl Fogarty did everything.
But that was after a stellar Superbike career. So I'm not saying he was just there for a payday, but I don't think he was there like really like heart and hand believing he was going to win. You know what I mean? And then you got Colin Edwards went over, didn't do well. Not say he didn't do anything. Obviously he had all right, but Ben Spies went over, shocking. Right then, moving on. Enough bullshit. Moving on. This week, said in the intro, was the start of the British Superbikes. Chip Hat was really happy because this is his favourite.
Yes, I was.
His favourite championship of the year. Kicking off at Silverstone. Just before we get into it, we're going to talk about the qualifying and then the races and whatnot. But just before we get into it, have you seen any messages about people kicking off about British Superbikes being at Silverstone and like a little bit of hate on it? Have you seen any of that?
No, not particularly.
I've not seen a lot, but I'm on like a couple of pages on Facebook and stuff and social media, like British Superbike pages, and there's a lot of like people on there coming on to defend it as if they've been hearing a lot of hate. I seen one message with somebody saying that He thinks Silverstone's too short. We shouldn't be racing in Silverstone, and that's why there's so many red flags, because they don't have time to clear the track once somebody crashes. And he doesn't understand why British Superbikes are going to Silverstone. But like, of course they're going to go to Silverstone.
Well, the thing is, I thought this was actually leading up for me criticising Silverstone. I thought you were sort of leading me into a trap. That's why I stayed quiet.
No.
I don't like Silverstone. It's the worst track on the BSB calendar, I think.
Yeah,
that and Snetterton. I don't like Snetterton either.
That was my first time going to Silverstone. That was my first time going to any British Superbike event. I've never been to one before. I've been to plenty of road races back in Northern Ireland and Ireland, and I've been to loads of short circuits. It was very reminiscent of the short circuits, of course, because that's what it is. But yeah, I would like to think that British Superbikes, when you're out there live, not that I didn't enjoy it, but I'd like to think that other tracks have a bit more to offer, because it was a bit, I don't know, it seemed a bit, even because the track was so small, like you walk through the paddocks and you can just walk around the whole place in like 10 minutes. You know what I mean? It does feel kind of small, but in a way that's good, because it's all close. You get to see everything. It's nice close knit. You get to see all the bikes. You can go to different parts of the track really easily without having to walk too far.
Yeah.
But ultimately I enjoyed it.
I mean, the track itself, I suppose, isn't too bad, the national track. Because, I mean, it's not a bad little course, but I don't know, I just don't like it that much. It's probably my least favourite. And it annoys me that MotoGP goes there, because it's not Britain's best track. It should go to Donington.
Donington is a great track.
Yeah, they only go to Silverstone because they've got the facilities. I wish I went to Donington.
Donington's great.
Or Cadwell. Imagine that on a
Oh
MotoGP.
my god. I'd be there. It's brilliant. It's Cadwell. I love Cadwell. I have been to I was just thinking back then when you were talking about the BSB there, and I have actually been to the BSB before. Did they used to race at Croft?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure I've been to one when they were racing at Croft.
Mm.
So I remember I got a Honda Fleece with HM Plant on it. I think it said HM Plant or something like that on it. It was definitely. I think it was a Honda Fleece. And yeah, it was pretty decent actually.
Are you going to Cadwell this year?
I'm gonna try and get to Knock Hill. I know Chippy can't go now, but I'm still gonna go. I think.
No, I might be able to go. It's up in the air.
All right, okay. Well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go regardless. So
I'm gonna go
even on your own. You're not scared.
I won't be going on my own, but I'll be going. And my dad even said he's gonna ride up from Yorkshire and he'll come watch as well.
I've got a few planned this year, so I'm going to go to Donington for the World Superbikes, and then I'm going to Thruxton, and then the meet after that I'm going to Cadwell as well. And then I've seen Snetterton. I might go to Snetterton, because by that stage I'll be living a bit closer to Snetterton, so I might be able to go to it too.
Honestly though, Sam, if you can get to Cadwell's so good.
I think I'm going to Cadwell because my mate's going to Cadwell and he says he's got an extra space. So
when is Cadwell?
It's
August.
like the
I think. I'm sure it's August.
It
Yeah, it's around my
21st?
wedding anniversary. That's it.
Is it the 21st or the 28th of August? Something like that.
I think it's going to be the 28th because my wedding anniversary is on the 27th.
Yeah.
So if you go Cadwell, Sam,
27th.
are you gonna stay over?
Yeah, I'm going there to camp. Right, anyway, we're supposed to be talking about the British Superbike qualifying. Let's go.
Yes.
Yes.
So how did the qualifying go? Just so
It was a fairly standard.
Just so everyone's aware, I was quite busy this weekend, so I didn't manage to watch any of the bikes.
No, just so everybody's aware, Ash decided instead he'd rather do Easter egg hunts and play stupid games with his family rather than watch the British Superbikes.
Well, I'm sorry, but family's kind of more important than anything.
Yeah, but you could put it on your phone and just have it there. Just have it on your phone.
Yeah, but
Not hard
it's
to do.
rude. It's antisocial. I'm not going to do that.
What do you mean
You could
it's
watch it on
rude?
catch up at the end of the day once everybody's gone home.
I was knackered.
But you didn't do that either.
I was knackered at the end of the day. Anyway, come on. Qualifying, how did it go?
It was a fairly standard qualifying session. The only bit I really remember is Hector Barbara, because I thought it was a little bit controversial. He came out the last corner, crossed the finish line, and got his time in. But as he crossed the finish line, just afterwards he went on to the track limits, exceeded track limits, and his lap time was cancelled. Even though it was the start of the next
I can
lap.
understand why they've done that. Because
But I do understand, I agree the lap should have been cancelled. But I was then thinking, if this was like the last race of the season, and it was, to qualify, to get into Q2, to win the championship, I think they'd have all kicked off a lot more about
it. Definitely.
Yeah.
But then maybe if somebody was
But that was the only bit I really remember
somebody
about
was thinking,
qualifying.
maybe somebody should have put an appeal in just for that reason. Because putting an appeal in now, because then if this happens at the end of the season, you know what I mean, blah, blah, blah.
How many times are they allowed to exceed track limits in BSB?
I don't think there's like a set thing. I think qualifying you're not, but I think during the race, I think it's just like as long as you don't take the mick.
I'll tell you who doesn't get punished for going off track, and that's the British Talent Cup, because they were off track more than they were on it. Jesus Christ, they were all over the place, them boys. Right on.
Yes.
Right.
Any more on qualifying that was interesting?
That was all there really is
Nothing
worth
really.
talking
Nothing
about.
that I can really remember.
Like Chippy said, it was fairly standard qualifying, just watch bikes go around the track. I was doing Easter stuff during the qualifying, so I wasn't really paying much attention. I was doing an ash.
Well, at least you had it on. But obviously, I just didn't want to be antisocial. BMW Cup, how did that go? Because obviously...
Crap.
Oh, was it really?
I
didn't find it very
completely
exciting.
disagree. I think the BMW Cup was class. Thought it was really exciting, me.
I thought it was shite.
How did that lad do? Obviously, the lad that was
he won.
supposed to be the
Richard
big
Cooper.
fucking I am.
Yeah,
He won. Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No,
you
but in
are the big I
fairness-
am. You won.
In fairness, I didn't realise that Michael Rutter and Tom Strubwick was in it.
Oh.
So it wasn't like an easy win for him.
It was towards the end. He got away at the end. Did he not?
He got away at the end, but
See,
most
the
of the
way
race
they
it
do
was
it,
fun.
Ash, I don't know if you were aware of this, but the way they do it is they go out in two heats on the Saturday. So on the Saturday they do heat 1 and then heat 2, and then like the best from the heat. It's almost like a qualifying race. It's not a qualifier. It's like a qualifying race.
Okay.
And then the best from the heat go into like the actual race on Sunday, and then they go out and race on Sunday.
Ah.
But it reminded me very much, as soon as I seen them, it reminded me very much of like the King of the Bangers race that you got in Moto America. So it's probably like a similar idea.
With Daytona and that.
Yeah, it's like a similar idea. It's just like, cheaper manufactured bikes, easier to get a ride, easier to run a championship, extra race in the day for the fans. I thought it was really exciting. I like seeing, maybe it was because I was there live, I don't know, but seeing them whiz around, it made for close, obviously, Silverstone being so short, it makes for close racing anyway, but yeah, it made for good, close, exciting racing. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Did all the bikes look the same?
Yeah, well, different
They're all
colours,
exactly
different
the same.
liveries,
Yeah.
but they're all the same. It's a bit like Moto 2 in a way. They're all the same.
All right. Well, I'll look forward to seeing that next time it's on, obviously.
No,
When
I thought
watch the
it
catch-up
was.
anyway.
You just don't like it because
I think it's
you've had the hump straight away because Cooper's in it. You're like, there's no point having him in it. He's only going to win it, which probably is.
I like Richard Cooper. I really like him.
Was there any?
But
Was there anybody that looked promising then? People that sort of weren't known.
I'd say Tom Strubwick. He's not that well known. He was runner-up in the British Talent Cup in 2018 when
Who
Rory
was the
Skinner
one that
won
got
it.
black flagged?
It was Nicky Coates, I think, was it? Oh yeah, was that in that race?
Yeah, race 2.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? He got a. Did he get like a ride through for jumping the start or something?
Yeah,
and he
so
didn't take
jumped the
it,
start,
and then
but
eventually got black flagged.
whenever you watch it back, it's one of them where it's like, really? Jump the start, really?
I called that straight away. No, I called that straight. As soon as
No, I don't think he jumped the start as such. I think he anticipated.
he did.
I think he anticipated the light so well that it almost that he jumped the start.
No. He jumped the start.
He
Ash,
did.
when you watch it, you'll agree with me.
I know he
Right,
did jump
well,
the start.
I'm going to watch them all tomorrow. So
I know he did jump the start. But
Yeah.
it's a bit harsh for all you're going to gain from him jumping the start, for all he's going to gain, and that little bit, and then he has to do like ride through the pits. It seems a little bit harsh, does it not?
Yeah, because that ruins your entire race. I mean, like in MotoGP, when you got like the long lap penalty, that's fair because that adds about 3 seconds onto your time.
Yeah.
Ride through is like that's your whole race gone. So maybe there should be like a time equivalent because obviously they can't put long laps in at Cadwell and all that, but they could put like a 3 second penalty onto your end time. Surely.
Just add a bit onto it because it does seem a bit harsh to hit to ride through the pits. Like that's and considering how short Silverstone is, the pits just seems much longer. You know what I mean? Like it makes the pits in Silverstone seem even longer, even though it's just because such a short track. So his race would have been completely over. And how much did they actually like gain from that?
Yeah.
I was listening to they were talking about it over the speakers, and they were saying that because it's an amateur cup, and they are amateurs. A lot of them are amateurs. I know not all of them. Like you get Michael Rutter in there for fuck's sake, but you know a lot of them are amateurs, and they want an opportunity to maybe get into a bigger team. And like that's one like
Yeah.
making the mistake of false starting. Making that mistake, that's one thing, but then not looking out for your pit board, not looking at the flags, not looking at the signs, that's an even bigger mistake. Like one's a mistake, the other's a failure, you know what I mean? He made a mistake and then he failed to follow the procedure. So that's not really good. Hopefully he can bounce back from that in the next race. He's from Newton Abbey, it says on the programme.
But Tom Strudwick, I thought he stood out.
how much was your programme, Sam?
Oh fuck knows, I paid it with card. I just tapped. What's the problem with card? You don't know how much anything is. Just run around tapping everything. Tap, tap, tap. I think it was about £6.
Jesus.
Chippy
know.
wouldn't have
Was
paid
there nobody
that.
else you
He
could,
would have nicked it.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there nobody else
Do
you
you
could
know
just
what?
have a look
That's a
at?
nice programme, though. That's
I'm not
pretty
that
cool.
sort of person, Chippy. I don't just go and look over somebody's shoulder. You fucking cheap. I was going to call you the C word there. By the way, just for the
we
listeners,
still haven't got a forfeit for it.
just for the listeners, the C word in everyday scenario is my absolute favourite word, and I say it all the time. So I'm doing really, really well to have only made the mistake once. But there you go.
It's quite a nice looking programme, though, for £6.
It was probably more than that. Jesus, it was probably £16. Who knows? I don't know. I just tap things. Just tap, tap, tap. I make enough money that I don't have to worry about it. So happy days. I just go around tapping stuff. I don't make enough money. I'm broke. But if you want to send us money, do it. Right, and then after the BMW F900s, well, it was before it actually. We had the British Talent Cup. You've been raving about the British Talent Cup all week, Chippy. Oh, I love
the British Talent Cup.
It's my favourite. Johnny Garnes.
I do, because I like looking at sort of the next lads that are going to be making it, you know. Apparently they did a piece with him about, because he's from Devon, in North Devon, but they did a piece with him, but I haven't seen it yet. I really want to see it. But yeah, British Talent Cup is my absolute favourite.
They went to a school and they were just talking to him about they're asking him like, what's it like to still be going to school and obviously have to do your school work, and at the same time being being a motorbike racer and like not just a motorbike racer, but you know he's got
a British champion.
Yeah, and he's got a potential of a good future people are talking about him. But yeah, he turned up and managed to get 2/3 on the podium twice. Never managed to get that race win. So
He would have done in the first race if it hadn't have been red flagged.
I don't
Easily.
know.
He started from the back of the grid as well in that race. He would.
But how come he could have done it in the first?
He went through the whole field.
Yeah, but it's easier to pass the people at the back than it is to pass the people at the front. How come it?
Yeah, I suppose.
How
Well,
could
he'd
how
have
could
definitely
he-
been up there.
How could he have done it so easy in the first race, but he couldn't do it in the second race? Because the second race, he was like coming into the last lap, he was 6th, and then going over the line, he was 3rd. So he wasn't getting it that easy in the second race.
Wow. They must have changed something in the setup.
How's
But
it?
I mean, he finished. He started at the back of the.
Oh, it
He
was
started
amazing.
at the back
Yeah,
of the
it was
pack
fantastic.
and got
but
to 3rd in the first race. But he was disappointed. He was disappointed with himself that he only finished 3rd. And
Well,
I was
that's-
like, you've made up 30 odd positions. You should
Well,
be happy.
That's good. I
So that is
suppose.
sort of pressure he's putting on himself and the expectation.
But that's what I mean about whenever I said like they were off the track more than they were on the track, and Johnny Garness was just as bad. They were breaking track limits all the time. They were just.
He wasn't.
They were,
Johnny Garness.
The whole lot of them were. Not one of them. Not one of them did the whole race.
Nah,
Like,
Johnny Garness wasn't.
I guarantee you watch that race back and
You watch it back and you will see it.
Right. Anyway, 2/3 positions. How's it going to look if he doesn't
Yes.
win the championship this year? Because obviously he's supposed to be moving
He
up,
will. He'll dominate the championship.
but he only got 2/3 positions.
I'd put my house on him winning the championship. I haven't even got a house yet, but I'd put all my life savings on him winning the championship. Unless he had a crash. Unless he got injured, I can't see him not winning the championship. I would be willing to do a bet though. If you can think of a bet, I'll do it. Yeah, Harrison Desoy won on the Saturday. He's a good young lad, and Emmanuel Brinton, who I think he's raced in Europe somewhere last year, and then he came to the British Talent Cup. So they're both very good riders.
But that's
Also
just
good
what I mean.
prospects, not as good as Johnny Garness.
Well,
but
you say that, but they beat Johnny Garness this weekend, so they are just as good as Johnny Garness.
yeah, but so over the season, and they only beat him by
that-
0.05 of a second.
that yet remains to be seen. But as it stands at the minute, they're better than Johnny Garness this year. I know the prospects.
Right.
I
And
know
in race two,
yeah.
Evan Belford won, and Emmanuel Brinton again got
Ooh,
second.
Emmanuel-
So as it stands,
Emmanuel Brenton's doing quite well, isn't he?
in the championship, Garness is actually fourth. Emmanuel Brinton's first, Harrison Desoy second, Evan Belford third, Johnny Garness fourth.
And we should just mention, because this comes back to the qualifying, which we said there was nothing to talk about. The reason Johnny Garness in race 1 Ash had to start from the back of the grid was because during qualifying he didn't stop and park for me or something. So he got a little slap.
But I think he'd like that challenge.
He got a slap in the wrist. Well, obviously he didn't like it because he came third and he wasn't very happy. So
Yeah, but from the back of the grid, that's really good.
yeah, I know. Right, moving on.
I don't think he'd have been as frustrated if it wasn't red flagged. If it wasn't red flagged, if he could have completed the distance and then finished third, it was sort of his own fault.
A
that he
lot,
finished third. I think
a
he'd
lot
have
of
accepted
races
that
were
more.
red flagged over the weekend, and I think that was some of the criticism.
There was a lot, wasn't there?
I think that's some of the criticism with Silverstone being so small that if there is a fairly bad crash, there's not a lot of time to get it cleaned up. So it's inevitably a red flag.
Yeah.
Even though one of the crashes it could have been in any track, anywhere, it would have been a red flag.
Yes.
Right, moving on. Got down here to Superstock 1000.
Superstock 1000.
Probably my second favourite championship.
Right, let's get my notes out.
go.
I've made notes as well. Superstock 1000. Here we go. It was a very good race. Olsen did well to stay in front, as did Bourne to keep second place. And Franco Bourne, you said Franco Bourne was in the junior stock last year. Is that correct?
He was either junior super stock or super sport, I
Yeah.
think.
He's only 18.
Yeah, he moved up.
But he did really well.
Well, he won the British Talent Cup in 2020, He is a really good young rider. And to win a Superstock 1000 race, not a lot of people do, but to win a Superstock 1000 race at 18 years old, I think he's put a lot of Superbike teams on alert with. They're going to definitely be keeping an eye on him, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And if he get into British Superbike and do well in British Superbike, even if he doesn't win it straight away, but if he does well and just keeps in this upward projection, he could be in World Superbikes before long. That's
or he could be a bit of a Rory Skinner.
That's maybe getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. Franco Bourne.
Yes.
He came second, but so he's not actually winning the race, but he did really well just to come second, considering he's only 18.
I thought he won one. Did he not win the second race?
Yeah, he won race 2. Yeah.
So if he gets picked up, then he'll then move up to BSB.
Well, he can do.
All right, that's well. I hope he does well.
Yeah, me too. And then hopefully he does well in that, and then follows Rory Skinner to Moto 2 or something. World Supers.
Yeah. So race 1 was Olsen won race 1, Franco Bourne came second, and Billy McConnell came third, and Dan Linfoot came fourth. We've already talked about Franco Bourne, 18-year-old rookie, did well. It was a good race. And I just noted on there that the Superstock 1000 is pretty much a Honda Cup.
Yeah, it is now. I mean, it used to be full of like Suzukis and that.
So I put down here, race 2, this is the order and what they finished. Franco Bourne won the race, Honda. Dan Linfoot came second, Honda. Olsen came third, Honda. Talbot came fourth, Honda. McConnell came fifth, Honda. Kerr came sixth, Honda. And Alistair Seeley came seventh, and he was in the BMW. But then you go on down a bit, and you got Michael Dunlop and Connor Cummings, who are obviously testing for the likes of TT and Northwest, so they're not up at the front, but still very good riders. They're both in Hondas as well. Like, at the start of the race, they brought up the graphic to show, and it was nearly all Honda. It might as well be a Honda Cup. You got the BMW Cup, you might as well just make that into a Honda Cup. That's what it looks like. And then
I can't beat a Honda.
And it was race 2 red flagged because of the Craig Neve crash. Because he got a bit of oil or something in his tyre, and then he was skittering up the road. And then Billy McConnell
I think it did.
Billy McConnell crashed out as well because he slid in the oil that Craig Neve had spilt. But then,
never.
But then it went back a lap because of the red flag, and they gave Billy McConnell fourth place. But it was a nasty looking sort of crash to begin with. Craig Neve's was.
Fucking oil, man.
And then it was red flagged because every race was just red flagged. That's it.
It's mad to think just the tiniest thing can just screw it up.
Do you ever think about stuff like that when you're riding your bike?
I do. I think to myself, what if when, well, not saying that I go over the speed limit, but what if you're winding on a bit and a bit of oil just drips onto your tyre, or from somewhere like hydraulic fluid or anything, or even if somebody's been in a oil dropping car on the road, you could hit it. Especially more on the road because there's that many. On the track it's a lot safer. But
there was a race last year. I think it might have been Snetterton. Danny Buchan. It happened to win. There was oil. I'm pretty sure it was Danny Buchan. Oil leaking onto his back tyre. And obviously he wasn't aware of it, went into one of the corners and just went flying. Yeah. And everyone was going down. It was mental.
It is a worry. It is a worry. But as long as you obviously maintain your bike well enough, then you just got to kind of put it to the back of your mind, especially when you're racing. You can't think about that.
I'm fucked then.
What?
That's me fucked. I just jump on the bike and ride. Maintain football, that's it. No, I do maintain.
Do you not check your bike before you go on it?
Yeah, of course I do. Take a quick check. Alright, so on Sunday before I went, right, so I needed to take my chain. I thought I need my rucksack, but I left my rucksack at work. Unfortunately, I live pretty close to work, so I was like, I'll have to ride in, pick up my rucksack and ride back out again. So I jumped on my bike, ran it into work, picked up my rucksack, came back out, and then just as I was parking up to go in and get ready, my bike went boom, 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 and just died. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this? So I got it in neutral, and I started it, and it started up fine, and then I put it into gear, and it went dum, 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 dum. And I was like, why is it doing that every time I put it in gear? And then, anyway, so I'm here, I'm all ready to go, helmet on, rucksack on, all the gear, no fucking idea. I'm there turning on my bike, putting it into first gear, dum dum dum. I tried it in second gear, dum dum dum. And I was like, why is this not working? In the end, I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to go to Silverstone and just watch it on the TV. So I roll it into my back garden, and then I thought, I'll try it one more time. And I tried it, and it worked fine. And I'm there thinking, right, do I ride this to Silverstone and then find out when I get there that my bike's fucked and I'm about an hour and a half away and I get an AA or something, do an ash and be waiting there all day and embarrass myself in front of real bikers? Or they just stay at home? And then in the end I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go. So the whole way there, every time I came to traffic lights, I was just like, fucking hell, just keep going. Wee.
When you started the bike and obviously rode to work, you said it's quite close. Did you literally just start the bike and then ride it straight away?
Yeah.
Just set off like, right. So in future, I would say, and
let it warm up a bit.
Maybe because the temperature, even though it's been a bit warmer, just let it warm up a bit.
Yeah,
because
maybe that's
I have to let mine warm up. Also, when was the last time you had your spark plugs checked? Might be worth having a look.
Yeah, maybe.
Could be a spark plug problem.
But it was starting. Whenever it was in neutral, it was starting. It was whenever I changed it, whenever I put it into gear, it then died. Anyway,
maybe give your battery another juice on the trickle charger as well.
No, I had plenty of juice. I left it overnight the night before. Plenty of juice. I had a good like 12 hours juice. But in the end, I got there. I got back. Such a good time on my bike because a problem is, even though I've got the bike, I've got nowhere to go. I'm not very adventurous when it comes to my bike as to like where should I go, what should I do? Because unless I've got somewhere to go, I don't really do anything. You know what I mean? I think, oh, I'll go out riding. Where? I don't know where.
Pick somewhere.
Yeah, but the problem is because I don't have a license, I can't go on the motorway yet. So it's like, where do I go?
Just try and pick somewhere that you're interested in going to, I suppose. That way you don't need to go on the motorway.
I picked Silverstone to go to the British Superbikes.
Well, yeah, fair enough, yeah.
It gave me an excuse to ride it. So it was like an hour and a half there, an hour and a half back. On the way there was mega because we fell in with some bikers at the time and it was like, yeah, I'm a biker. And
yeah, me.
To be honest, we were about, I think it was like the A43 or something, where it was about 10 miles out. Maybe it wasn't A43, but we were in A43 for a while, but it was about 10, 12 miles out from the track. And a bunch of bikers come past me at the roundabout, and they could have blew me off easy. Like, they could have just went for it. But a few of them just kind of hung about and just let me tag onto the back of them. It was pretty cool.
That's what's cool about like bikers, and what you'll notice is when you're on the road and one coming towards you, doesn't matter what you're riding, they'll give you a nod or a wave.
Oh well, you say that, but there's a few miserable bastards that don't.
Well, they're not proper bikers then, I'm afraid. I don't care whether they're on a 50cc twist and go. Even if it's just like a scooter-looking thing that's electric, if they give me a nod, I give them a nod back.
I don't think it was because of what bike it was on. I think they're just miserable and wouldn't nod at anybody. But yeah, most of them do.
Probably,
nod. Yeah, but I had a really good time riding, and then riding back, because up until this point, because I've not properly ride a bike in years, up until this point, I've been thinking about everything. You know what I mean? Coming to traffic lights, thinking about what gear, man. You know, really thinking about it. But riding in the way back, my mind just wandered, and I was just doing it all second nature. You know, it just became so comfortable. It's just like driving a car. You know, every time you jump into a new car, you always have to find that bite on the clutch. You have to know how much acceleration to give it, and it's the same on the bike. And I'm getting used to it, but that was the first time riding back where I was just like, didn't have to think about it. It was just coming to traffic lights and just doing it all naturally without thinking about it.
That's the best part. That is the best part, when you can just jump on it and just ride, and you just enjoy all of it. Sunday,
I had one of the best days of my life. Like, I know my wife and kids left to go down to their parents for Easter and stuff. I was by myself. Sad face. Here's me crying, sad face. But I got to ride my motorbike to Silverstone and watch British Superbikes and then ride home. And then I came home and watched it all again on record it in Eurosport, and I still don't know what the fuck's going on. Chippy looks absolutely bored.
I'm just letting you two ramble on.
I wish we lived closer together because we just go out riding.
Yeah, it would be cool.
There you go.
Right, Chippy, what do you want to talk about next? Do you want to go on to the British Superbike sprint race?
Where did Glenn Irwin come in the sprint race then? Because he didn't get a podium.
5th.
Oh,
Came 5th in the sprint race.
He was the guy that I picked for dominating the BSB. So
I don't think anybody's going to dominate it.
Is it all?
I mean, Kyle Ryde won it. Last week I said I thought he'd win at least 2 races. He only won 1, but he always goes well at Silverstone. I think that's his strong track. But yeah, he won. It was good entertaining.
Yeah,
race.
Kyle Ryde won. Bridewell came 2nd. Brooks came 3rd. O'Halloran 4th, and Irwin came 5th. And then Haslam, the guy you said was going to do nothing last week, came 6th. He had a pretty good weekend. Did Haslam?
Oh, what, on the BMW?
Yeah, came 6th.
Mm.
But
well,
as for Glenn Irwin, they were talking about it because he's on the Ducati this year, different bike, maybe going to take him a little bit to get used to it. But yeah, he done well in the end. What was he on last year?
Was on the Honda.
Yeah, and this year he's on the Beer Monster. And this year he's on the Beer Monster Ducati, so it might take him a little bit of time to get used to it. Inevitably, it doesn't take him that long because fuck me, you want to race, but yeah. So
yes,
to the sprint. The sprint was 22 laps, but the actual race was 30 laps. So I was kind of thinking this sprint's a bit long to be a sprint. Because the sprints are usually like I'm thinking World Superbikes and MotoGP. World Superbikes MotoGP is usually about a 26 lap race and the sprint's 12. So that's like a third of the distance. So why was the sprint not 10 laps? I know Silverstone's shorter, but you still think it's like a third of the race. Why was it not like 15 laps? Why was it 22? That was quite, like, for me personally, whenever I seen 22 laps for the sprint, I thought, well, the race must be fucking 45 laps or something then, because it's so short. But the race was only 30 laps.
Yeah.
It just seemed...
To be honest, I'm not actually sure it is considered a sprint race. I think it's more...
They are calling it a sprint, though.
It's just a short race.
For the listeners, I'm doing inverted commas. I'm pretty sure they're calling it a sprint. Yeah, are they not?
Oh, yeah, it is called a sprint race.
Yeah,
the Bennett's Bike Social Sprint Race.
Yeah, they're calling it a sprint race, even though it's
so
quite long
they do
for
consider
a
it a sprint race.
I don't know if they'll do...
It's a very long sprint race.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll do a similar sort of like distance for the next races. I don't know, but in my opinion, it seems quite long for a sprint. But there you go.
Yeah.
Who cares about my opinion?
More racing.
Yeah, I thought it was class. 3 races, brilliant.
Josh Brooks came 3rd.
I'm quite glad. I know a lot of people don't like him, but he's had a really tough 2 years.
You don't like him? Oh, he won the British Superbikes. He's Australian.
Right, I like Josh Brooks. I like Jason O'Halloran, but listen, I don't want a non-British person to win the British Championship. I like them as people.
Then you're not happy that Josh Brooks is getting podiums and winning races because you don't want him to win the championship. So make up your mind. Yeah,
I don't want him to win the championship. I don't mind him winning races. I just don't want him to win the championship.
Well, if he wins enough races,
I'd love Tommy Bridewell to win the championship.
If he wins enough races, he'll win the bloody championship. So make up your mind, Chippy. Do you like him
or
not?
Yeah, but I don't mind him. I like him. I just don't want him to win the championship. It was nice to see him back up there rather than 16th.
I want Glenn Irwin to win the championship, but if he doesn't win it, then I want Josh Brooks to win it, because every time Josh Brooks wins, they'll interview Fayho.
And what's so brilliant about her then?
Well, she just owns that team.
Awesome. So, anything else interesting in the sprint race? Or just anybody finish where you didn't think they would? Or obviously you mentioned Leon Haslam there getting 6. That's pretty decent for him.
Danny Kent got 9th. Andy Irwin got 8th. And Kennedy got 7th. It's a good ride for Kennedy, wasn't it?
How did Danny Buchan do?
10th.
Alright.
I wrote down the top 10, so... and he just happened to be 10th. It was a good race.
I like
Enjoyed
Danny Buck, and I like his podcast as well. His podcast is good.
What's his podcast called? Is that one? It's called
Pushing the Limit.
Pushing the Limit.
Yeah,
There you
it's
go.
really good.
We'll plug in other podcasts
little
again.
plug.
No,
aren't we?
sorry, it
Pushing
just
the
is
Limit.
really good.
It's alright, nobody's listening to it because they only listened for 6 minutes, so nobody's listening to it now anyway. We're
Yeah,
talking
that's
to
true.
ourselves. Will we do race 1 and race 2 for the Supersport 600?
I didn't write any notes for this.
Right, so for race 1 I didn't write any notes, but I wrote a lot for race 2. But I got the top 3 for race 1. So race 1 was Johnston came first, or Johnston came first, sorry if I said it right. Stapleford came second, and Booth Amos came third. That was the top 3 in race 1. I didn't watch race 1 with great intent, so I don't really know much about it. But then we went on to race 2. And the first thing I put down there was at Brooklands Corner, Lee Johnson went from fourth to first, and it was amazing because he was in fourth place. First and second were battling. Third place thought, oh, I'll get some of this, and then Lee Johnson just came up and was like, fuck off, and just took all 3 of them and went from fourth to first in like one corner, and it was class. And he did that the whole race because he was racing with Irwin, young lad Irwin, the whole race, and Reese Irwin, and every time they came to Brooklands Corner, Reese Irwin took it wide, and Lee Johnson just done the same thing. He was able to just bring it really tight and just hold his line every time. And like Reese Irwin never really learned from his mistake. Maybe because he's a young lad, he maybe just had his line and that was it, and he didn't want to fall off. But it was a good race between the two of them. But ultimately, Lee Johnson just had his pants down a bit because every time he just came to Brooklands, like I said, he just kept doing that line and he couldn't do anything about it. Yeah, so Irwin and Johnson had a good battle. Reese Irwin ended up coming second, and I wrote down, as everyone called Irwin good at racing bikes. Because how many people in the paddock are called Irwin? There's about 5 of them.
Yes. You got it's about 5.
There's a
4 or 5.
I used to watch.
Who was the other Owen? There was a Graham Owen, wasn't there? But I don't think he. I think he was the older brother of Andy and Glenn.
Years ago, whenever
I'm sure it's Graham Owen.
Years ago, whenever I was going to the road races, there was a road racer called Alan Irwin. He was pretty good as well. I don't know if he's related or anything. I'm not sure. Should maybe try and find out. Yeah, there was an Australian guy to Paris who seemed happy with third.
Yeah. I'm happy he was third and didn't win. As he's non-British.
But it was a little bit controversial because he ended up taking off Tom Booth Amos because Tom Booth Amos was coming in, and to Paris was he just kind of cut the nose off him. Now obviously they were both going for the same part of track, but like it didn't look like Booth Amos was like doing anything that he shouldn't have been doing. He was just there, and Taparis just came right over the top of him. He was just like, "Fuck off, mate!" Just took his nose and sent him flying. And obviously,
put another shrimp on the barbie.
because Tom Booth Amos came third in the first race. He was looking like he was on the grid, and they were interviewing him, and he was like, "I'm going for it. I'm going to try and win this race." So if he get knocked off, I don't think he was best pleased. I think even after he came off in the sidelines, he was gesticulating like, "What the fuck are you doing?" But I don't think Taparis done anything wrong. But he was in third, and he must have been really happy with third because he never once looked like he was like every time Lee Johnston came up into Brooklyn, and like I said, he kept passing Reese Irwin. At no time did Paris think, I'm going to follow him, I'm going to do the same, or I'm going to wait until Reese Irwin's passing him and then I'm going to get. But he just kind of held back. It was like he was just racing there thinking, I'll just take third place, which is maybe the smart thing to do. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe he was like, fuck it, I'm just happy with third. But it was a good race all in all. I thought it was really good.
Yes.
Good to see Johnson do it.
I like British Supersport. I like every British British class.
And then they were interviewing
Apart from the BMW
Lee Johnson at the end of it, and they were asking him how he feels about doing the whole championship and if he thinks he could win it. And he openly said he was like, "That's not really important, not to him." He was saying it in the way he was trying to like highlight that he's not trying to belittle the championship, but he was saying ultimately, him and his team and his sponsors make the money at the Northwest and the TT, so he's probably not going to stick around. So. And then they interviewed Rhys Irwin, and immediately, as soon as he opened his mouth and started talking, I was like, I like this kid. I've got a lot of time for this young fella. He was just so sincere and so honest, and you know what I mean? He just started speaking, and he wasn't talking bullshit or trying to, you know, he wasn't trying to be something for the cameras. He just seemed so natural, and that's all I've really got on the... Right, so that was the Supersport 600. That's about as informative as I can get. So, just for the listeners there, so this year, myself, I was kind of like the one behind the idea for the podcast. So I'm kind of like the visionary of it, and then Ash and Chippy are coming along and joining me for the ride, and then through time they've started input into it, which is good. But this year, the first year, I see it as...
Well, one of us has.
Yeah, one of us has. But this year,
hang on.
Hold on a minute. Before you start slagging each other off, I'm trying to explain to the listeners how I'm seeing this. So this year is going to be a learning year. It's for us to get up and running, get an idea of how you like the show to go, how we want the show to go. And then next year, when we come back, that doesn't mean don't listen this year. It just means next year, we're hoped to be a lot more professional. This year, we hope that through the weeks you're going to see us grow and become better at this. Now you slag each other off.
But, right, so hang on a minute, Chippy. Anything I put in that chat, an idea, the first thing you put is shite. Anything I put in there.
It usually is, though.
No, but it's not. And it's just...
Right, let's just have a look
what
at
have
the...
what have you put in the chat?
Well, I put in, obviously, like, I could do a thing where I take a picture of, like, where I am. Like, if I go out on my bike.
Yeah, we could do that, and you've not done it.
Yeah, that's because my bike broke, and then the day I was going to do it, my bike broke. But then I've suggested suggested things in the past.
Your bike broke, and then last week you were slagging me off for my bike being shit, but your bike broke.
But hang on, the thing that broke on my bike was something which is just wear and tear. So, and anything else I've suggested, I can't remember off the top of my head what they are. It's just straight away, Chippy just puts shite, and it just gets
But they usually are.
That whereas Ash,
they usually are.
Was that you that suggested that, or was that me?
Well, no, I suggested something else, and then you changed it and made it your idea.
Right, have a look at the, we've got the...
Exactly. Anything I suggest just gets absolutely... And then I thought, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to suggest anything anymore, because everything I put up becomes shite. And then you say I don't put enough input in.
Well, look at the shared doc that we've got.
Yeah.
There's 3 pages, right?
Yeah.
It's all me and Sam.
Yeah, so obviously
mostly me this week,
week's been a little bit different for me, as you know.
Well, no, it's the same every week.
What do you want me to put in there, then? What do you want to put in?
Just stuff.
Right, I'm going to start putting fucking shitloads in there.
Good, that's what we want.
Right, okay.
We can take bits off it.
No. Do you know what I'll do? I'll write it all, and then you'll just delete it all.
I won't delete it all.
You
I'll only
will.
delete it if it's awful.
Exactly.
If you want to give us one of your bike reviews any week, Ash, you just hate to say, the more content we put in, the less bullshit we hate to talk.
I've got 4 ready to go.
Well, put them in the fucking doc then.
Well, alright, I'll stick it in the doc then. But then Chippy will just go, oh, it's fucking boring listening to a review on a bike.
It is boring. I hate the reviews. They are so boring.
Right, anyway, let's go on.
There you go. There's a suggestion, and he's just already fucking tabooed it.
Yeah, but there's other people, they might enjoy it. I just find it
I like
crap.
the reviews. Other people will like the reviews. Like, the more content we put in, the less bullshit we hate to talk. Right, so let's crack on, because we are getting on a bit here. We'll do World Superbike. Or World Superbikes, we'll do the British Superbikes Race 1 and Race 2, eh?
Yes. Or is it Race 2 and 3?
Yes, it is.
What are they calling it? Because it's a sprint race. Does that make... Well, they are calling it Race 2 and Race 3, but... If it's a sprint race, it should be sprint race, Race 1, Race 2. Who the fuck knows? Anyway, the second,
Race 2,
third British Superbike race.
I noticed that you put there nasty crash for Danny Buchan. What happened there?
That was race.
He high-sided.
Was that race 1 or race 2?
Well, it's the second BSB race of the weekend. The one between the sprint race and the last
first race on Sunday, yeah.
Yes. He had a high side coming out the last corner.
He was
that is a fast little straight.
It was weird because he was almost out of the first corner. Like, he was out of the first corner.
Yeah, he was. He was almost on the straight. Yeah.
And then he just seemed to...
Yeah, he high sided and he went for quite some distance.
Oh, yeah, he did.
I haven't actually heard...
He did. He was flying. I was sitting in Cops and they showed it on the big screen, and everybody around me included, we all did that sort of slow inhale of breath. You know, that sort of... We all did that because his bike went one way and he went off, and he was kind of on his back, and you could see him just almost holding himself, and he just slid the whole way up on his back. He was motoring too. He was. Oh yeah.
Did he hit a barrier or anything?
No, not really.
No,
no.
he just sort of went through the.
But that was the crash I was saying earlier, because there was a lot of red flags because the track's so short. But that was the one. No matter where you would be in the world, if somebody crashes like that, especially in the start and finish, if somebody crashes like that, it's a red flag. Thankfully, he was, for all intents and purposes, he was all right.
Well, he's gone to the med centre, but there's been no update anywhere about how he is.
Was his bike trashed?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
What do you mean there's been no update?
There's been nothing put on Twitter or any updates from BSB about how he is. So, I mean, it can't be bad news, but I'm pretty sure he went to hospital.
Yeah.
But I don't know how bad he is.
Did I hear a broken arm or something, or was that somebody else?
I'm not sure. One of the kids had a broken wrist. I think it was Junior Supersport, but I can't remember.
Maybe that was it.
But yeah, Josh Brooks won that race.
Yeah, he did.
And Tommy Bridewell second, Glenn Irwin third. I really want Tommy Bridewell to win the championship. I think Tommy Bridewell is one of them riders that everybody likes.
Whenever I watched it...
Everybody can be like, oh, I don't like Josh Brooks, but there's a lot of riders that people don't like, but everybody likes Tommy Bridewell.
Whenever I watched it, like I say, I was sitting at Cops, and I seen, like, at one stage Glenn Irwin was really far back. I thought he was out of the race at one stage. Like, I genuinely thought he was out of the race. Like, once you get far enough back and it gets far enough on in the race, you just stop looking for people. You know what I mean? Because you watch the top 2, 3, 4 riders, then all of a sudden they come back into it, and he made a lot of distance towards the end. And whenever I was watching it at Cops, I thought Glenn Irwin could have won that if it hadn't been red flagged. And I remember messaging you, telling you that, saying that I think he would have won it if it hadn't been for red flag, blah blah blah. But then I came back and watched it in Eurosport, because I'd recorded it. I came back and watched it, and I was like, actually, if it hadn't been red flag, he'd just been past that lap. He was in fourth. Now, he done really well, because he was back at one stage. He was back like mid race. He was back like 12th or 13th, and then he managed to bring it back. But he went over the line in third. Then the crash happened, and then even between the crash and the red flag, he was past. I still think he would have probably got third, but looking back on it, I don't think he would have won the race, red flag or no. I don't think he would have won it. I think he would have probably got third. But even that, considering he was 12th at one stage, I thought he did really well. Ash is eating, look. Yeah. Surprise, surprise.
I know, I was just looking at it. I was trying to see what he's eating.
Well, I haven't had any fucking tea, have I? Got back from Yorkshire and you were fucking bitching, Chippy. Oh, we need a podcast, and me and fucking Sam are on before you are.
I wasn't bitching. I just said I'm ready whenever. I've had my dinner. We're waiting for you. You're the one ignoring us.
I just had to quickly grab it. It's Hank Marvin. It's a tortilla wrap with some German salami and Nando's Pyrenees.
Right, that's LA.
What a crap dinner. I had salmon stir fry. It was very nice.
I had loads of nuggets. Just a whole packet of nuggets with sauce. That was it. I had no carbs because I've had about 6 or 7 slices of bread already today. Terrible. I love bread and butter, me. Right, race 3 then. And eventually, Glenn Irwin won a race. Where did Josh Brooks come in race 3?
Second, he was.
So Josh Brooks must be leading then, is he?
Yeah, he's leading by like 2-3 points.
All right. Come on,
It's
Josh
kind of the
Brooks.
benefit of this point system now, because it's keeping everybody close together.
Oh
so
yeah,
I quite like this new point system.
Speaking of the new point system, I think I understand it. I think I get it now.
Ooh.
So basically, Ash, in case you don't know, because Chip Hat says he gets it, so I'm going to explain it, and I will finally see if I actually understand it. So I'm not entirely sure how many points, but I think this week they got like 18 points for a win or something like that.
18.
Yeah, it's 18.
Yeah, and then for the first few races, like maybe 1, 2, 3 races, you get like 18 points for a win, 16, 15, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. And then for like race, I don't know if it's race 4 or whatever, but there's a second block of races where they go up to 25 points for a win. And then there's like a third block of races where it goes up to like 30 points for a win. And then the last couple of races, if not the last race, it's like 35 points for a win. So the points for coming first, second, and third grow as the season goes on. So if you win a couple of races at the beginning, but somebody else, like Christian Eden, for example, doesn't do so well, later on at the end of the season, say Josh Brooks doesn't do so well, but Christian Eden wins a race, it gives him more of a chance to be in contention. So I understand it now.
Right.
But I think they simplified it from whatever the fuck the showdown was, that top 6 bullshit.
Yes.
Because that was, I never understood it.
See, yes. So you're mainly right. It's rounds 1 to 8.
Mainly
which
right,
is
which
be...
means I'm still wrong.
Yeah, well, it was just the amount of rounds. So yeah, rounds 1 to 8 is starting at 18 points. Then the third and second to last races of the season, rounds 10 and 11 will be 25, and then the final race at Brands Hatch will be 35 points for a win.
So currently in the standings, it's Josh Brooks. Josh Brooks is in the lead with 48 points. Tommy Bridewell is second with 46 points, and Glenn Irwin is third with 43 points. And then it's Kyle Wright, Jason O'Halloran, Leon Havlin, who's in 6th. And we've not mentioned it yet, but we actually should. Danny Kent's in 7th, and he had a good weekend, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he'll be quite happy with that.
Not an outstanding weekend, but he had a good weekend.
Considering he had to build a team from scratch.
Yeah.
Over the winter, and with a new bike as well, because he's on the Suzuki last year. He's done really well to finish that far up. Yeah, I think him and Jack Kennedy for me.
Yeah, James Whittam was like over and over again, like trying to sing his praises. Like he was just over and over again, like reiterating that he's a world champion, and he's not just like a world champion in some Mickey Mouse trophy. Like he's a Moto3 world champion. He's Britain's last like world champion at champion at world level. So he's a good rider, decent. He just needs a chance. For whenever I first seen him go to Superbikes, I thought Danny Kent's got a chance here. But it's really competitive, British Superbikes. That's the thing. Anybody could win any week.
But yeah, Jack Kennedy, is really good. Yeah, Jack Kennedy, I thought had a really, really good round. Because he raced a couple of the last races last season. He was down near the bottom. I mean, he's 4-time British Supersport champion, so he's a good rider. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's nice to see him up near the top. Same with Danny Kent. But I think Lee Jackson, Peter Hitman, and Christian Iden, they're going to be the most disappointed after this weekend. They didn't have a very good weekend at all.
Peter Hickman's in 12th. I know it's only one week. It's only one round. But he's in 12th, and he's got like 9 points. So he's not had a very good weekend at all.
It's also nice to see PBM Ducati back at the top. I know it's Ducati, and I hate Ducati. But in British Superbikes, I don't mind them so much.
I know you don't hate Ducati. It's just
I hate their dominance.
Well, like
but not in British Superbikes, because anybody can win.
I've explained this before. Ducati went a very, very long time where they didn't win very much. So it's just, their dominance isn't through a lot of hard work and perseverance. So it's not like they don't deserve a little time in the sunshine.
Yes.
You,
I mean,
you
PBM
just hate
Ducati,
Ducati because VR46 is on a Ducati. That's why you hate Ducati.
Don't sound like VR46.
Nobody can see, but I'm
Chippy
pretending
hates
to.
Rossi.
I don't hate Rossi just because I like Marquez.
Just how I can get the little
Doesn't
dig in
mean I
there.
hate Rossi.
Get a little dig in there and get you two going. That's exactly what I can do.
Yes.
I know.
But yeah, PBM Ducati, they had the last couple of years, they've really struggled. So it was nice to see them back up. And they had Tom Sykes as well, don't forget.
Tom
It was nice to see them
Sykes.
back at the front.
Good lad.
Well, he was crap. He was awful, wasn't he?
As class as Tom Sykes.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Well, he wasn't when he came back last year. He was pretty bad.
He's at World Supers now anyway, so.
Yeah, and near the back of that as well.
Yeah, well, that's not his... Right, we're not talking about World fucking Supers. Come on. It's not his fault he's on a shit bike. Carry on.
What kind of is, because he was on a Kawasaki and did football after he won a championship. Because Johnny Ray kept kicking his ass. I'm Tom, I can't run your ears. Anyway, are we done with British Superbikes?
Well, I just wanted to make one more quick
Go on ahead.
thing. Josh Brooks was awarded Rider of the Round.
That's right, yeah.
But I don't think... I think that should have gone to Franco Bourne, because 18-year-old winning Superstock 1000 race.
Yeah, but Josh Brooks got a podium in every single race.
Yeah, but it's Josh Brooks.
Well,
He's two-time British
is it
champion.
not? That is voted by the viewers. The viewers ring in, or not ring in, but the viewers.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's voted. It's like, you know, like F1 driver of the day. I'm pretty sure that's voted by the viewers. They hit like email or tweet or some bullshit. I'm pretty sure that's.
No, I didn't know
I'm
that.
pretty sure the viewers. But then the thing is, the commentators have a lot of sway as to who gets that, because the whole weekend, every time Josh Brooks did well, they were bumming and blowing about how people thought Josh Brooks wasn't going to do anything, and it just goes to show you that sometimes, you know, you can have a bad year, and he's a 2 times champion and he's not going anywhere and he's still very good. But yeah, I didn't think of it much myself, because they were interviewing Feiho and I was like, not thinking very much at all. But thinking on it, yeah, Franco Bourne was that very good weekend. And he maybe did deserve.
I mean, I don't think the Rider of the Round has to be in British Superbikes. But even then, I wouldn't even say Josh Brooks was Rider of the Round. I'd have given it to Jack Kennedy, personally. But that's just my vote. That's where it would have gone.
I think part of the hype with Josh Brooks was the fact that everybody had ruled him out. Like us three, whenever we were talking about who's going to win the championship or who's going to win the race or who's going to win at Silverstone, none of us mentioned Josh Brooks.
That's true.
So I think he has.
Everybody wanted to pick. Everyone wanted to pick Glenn Irwin, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah, but he did the triple last
remember
year,
correctly.
so it's not any reason. There's no wonder why we wanted to pick Glenn Irwin. Like I said, he did the triple last year, so. Right, well that'll wrap it up with British Superbikes. So next week we are looking forward to Circuit of the Americas.
Oh, I cannot wait for this.
Austin,
I cannot
Texas.
wait.
It's one of my
can't
favourite
wait.
rounds all year. I like
It's
Austin.
so good.
I like
Yes.
Circuits of the Americas.
It is such a
Do
good
you know
track.
what? Do you know what? This is going to surprise you now. I just sat here thinking about it. I hope Marc Marquez races.
Well, of course he's going to race.
I hope he wins.
I don't
No,
think
because
there's
he might get the penalty though, might he?
No,
He'll still race.
No,
Well,
even
no,
if
you know. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. I hope that he doesn't get the penalty.
But even if they do,
I don't know why. It's
even if they get the penalty,
He won't get the penalty.
Even if they get the penalty, Honda can they can put in another what's the word?
They can take it to the Court of Arbitration
Yeah.
for Sport. They can appeal it.
Appeal, that's it. They can put in another appeal, which will slow it down. So either way, Marc Marquez isn't. He's not doing that penalty this week. or next week.
It's
Definitely
this weird thing. There's a weird thing going on in my head where it's tearing me to pieces because I want him to have the
You
penalty.
want Marc Marquez to
No,
win.
I want him to have the penalty, but at the same time, I just know how good he is around that track. And I kind of don't want him to have it at the same time. So I'm like that.
I
you know what I mean?
reckon.
It's weird. It's a
I
weird
reckon.
feeling.
I reckon. Mark Marquez has got a shot at topping the qualifying. A shot at topping the qualifying, and I think in the sprint race he's maybe got a chance. But when it comes to the main race, I don't think he's got. I don't think he's got a leg to stand on.
Really?
I think he'll be on the podium. I think in the
But
race.
he has
the main
been.
race.
He is the king of COTA, though, isn't he?
No, he was the king of
He
COTA.
is. Well, I kind of want him to do well, but I don't at the same time. It's so strange.
Like, I think that one lap when it comes to qualifying, I think he might be able to pull that out of the bag. And like I say, when it comes to the sprint race, because it's a shorter race, different tyres, less fuel load, and you get to the front and scrap for a few laps, I think he might be able to pull out a result in the sprint race. But I think, personally, I think when it comes to the main race, I think eventually, as I can see the whole season panning out, I think eventually the Ducatis will just dominate. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I reckon it'll be a Ducati that wins it. But
I think Mark Marquez will get a podium
yeah, I reckon
in the main race.
I reckon
main
he'll
race.
probably maybe get third. He'll get third, I think, if he doesn't get that penalty.
I'm not so sure. I'm not.
If he gets
I've
that
not-
penalty, no,
Like in
it's
the
true.
sprint race, he could do anything in the sprint race. He could throw it up the road, or he could win it. Who knows? But in the main race, I don't see him winning it. Hello, guys. It's Sam here. We've just been talking about Mark Marquez, and I'm sure, as you've already heard or read on social media, he will not be taking part in Circuit of the Americas. The news broke as I was doing the edit. I thought I would just come on and add this little bit in. Anyway, keep enjoying the show. I think Bagnaia has got a point to prove this weekend. He needs to come back and show that last weekend was a one-off. He's not that rider anymore. He's not going to do it. He's not going to make them silly mistakes. He needs to come back and bolster his chances with at least a win in the main race. Like sprint race, who knows? Like it's hell for leather in the sprint race. Like Brad Binder a couple of weeks ago shocked everybody.
Yeah.
So who knows what's going to happen? But yeah, I don't think
Get
Marquez
Bezzecchi up
is
there again.
Yeah,
Could be Marquez brothers on the podium.
maybe.
No, not seeing that. Not Alex Marquez.
I don't know. He's got a
On
chance.
the Ducati. He did well round there.
He's got a chance. I think any one of them guys in the Ducati's got a chance. Maybe Franco. I say this every week. Maybe Johan Zarco. Maybe this will be his week. Say the line,
I can't
Bart.
see Johan Zarco being up there. I can't see Johan. I don't see Johan being up there. Not on the podium.
No. Why not?
I just don't. I don't think with the amount of other riders that are there on Ducatis as well. I don't see him being up there.
What's wrong with your microphone? Why is it every time you speak there's a muffle? Can you hear that, Chippy?
Is there a muffle? Maybe it's because I was laid
I'm
back.
not sure.
I don't know. I was laid back before. I was sat forward now. Does that sound a bit better now?
It's just that every time you
Maybe.
speak there seems to be like some sort of feedback muffle. Anyway, let's
It's
forget
probably
about
just
it.
my face.
But yeah, so who,
No, I don't
who,
see. I
who
don't
do you
see
think-
Johan up there.
Circuit of the Americas, who do you think the big winner is going to be?
Bagnaia. I see him winning it. I reckon Bezzecchi second and Marquez third. Mark Marquez. If he
When's
doesn't
Ba-
have the long lap penalty.
When's Bastianini back?
Fuck knows.
It's going to be a few weeks.
It's
I
gonna
think.
be a
It's
while,
broken
innit?
shoulder blade, wasn't it?
Main race.
Sorry, I'm just making a meme.
Main race, I think. Is the meme anything to do with this podcast?
Yes.
All right then.
I might put it on the group on the
Then
the
I
Facebook
will
group.
allow it. But I think me and Race, I'm looking. Bagnaia is going to win it, and I honestly think it will be a Ducati dominance again. But I don't know if it will be Bezzecchi. Maybe, wouldn't rule him out. But I think Alex Marquez might get it as well, second or third place. And I'm going to hold out and say Johan Zarco is going to be there as well. That's my top three. Maybe not in that order. I think Bagnaia, Marquez, Zarco.
Alex Marquez, though.
Yeah, Alex
Is that what you're
Marquez.
saying?
Yeah, and I think
Okay.
I think Mark Marquez might pull something out of the bag with the sprint race, and he might top the qualifying.
Yeah.
But I don't see him winning the race, the actual race. I just think in the end, there's
He is injured as well at the moment, isn't he? I mean, he's healing still, so maybe you're right on that. But I can't rule out Mark as not getting on that podium when he was. It's his track. That's Mark's track.
was Mark's track. Was
No,
Mark's
I
track.
think it still is. I can't believe I'm agreeing with Chippy about Mark Marquez. It's
No,
fucking
I
weird.
don't think it is anymore. When's the last time he won at Circus of the America?
Well, obviously before he got injured, probably won it.
Yeah, it's not his track anymore. And they'll hype
Well,
up.
we'll see.
They'll hype up on BT Sports. They'll be like, "Oh, Mark Marquez
Yeah, they
is
will.
all this, and Mark Marquez is all that." Because they done the same with Rossi. Like they did the same with Valentino Rossi. It was like every time Valentino Rossi came to the track, he'd be like down in 15th in qualifying, and they'd be like, "Who can win the race?" And they would go through who can win it, and then they'd be like, "Oh, but never count out this man. Never count out Valentino Rossi." It's like he hasn't fucking done anything in years. The cunt should retire. Oh shit, I said it. And it's the same. It's the same with Marquez. It's like they blow smoke up his ass and say, "Oh, Marquez this, Marquez that." Done. He's not going to win. He'll not win the race. I'll probably eat my words, but he's not going to win the race.
I don't think he's going to win it, but I think he may get third.
No, I don't see him. Not in the main. I don't see him getting the podium in the main race.
Chippy, who do you think?
I
Because
do.
you haven't said who you think's going to win. Come on, predictions.
I think Marquez will get a podium. Third. I think he'll get third. This is just for the main race. I think he'll get third in the main race. I think it's probably going to be Bagnaia for the win. And second...
Can you see?
I really don't know. Maybe someone like Jorge Martin.
Can you see
Martin.
Can you see Marquez on the Honda? Now, bear in mind it's a Honda and what the Honda's like this year. Can you see Marquez on the Honda beating all the Ducatis and beating the Aprilias? All
I
of
didn't
them.
think about the
The
Aprilias.
thing- The thing that I'm thinking about is there's that massive long back straight, and the Ducatis and Aprilias are gonna just drive past.
That's
him,
what I mean. Throughout
Or maybe not drive
throughout
past
the
him, but it's
entire
not-
race, like maybe the sprint race is different because it's not as long. But you see, throughout the longer race, the whole race, eventually, the Ducatis, they'll just slowly eke out a lead, slowly, and then by the time you get to
But then-
the time you get to the last 4 or 5 laps, they're going to be up the road and gone.
Yeah, but
then
he'll catch him on the
after
corners.
that- Yeah, I was gonna say after that long straight, there's quite a few tighter corners.
I think he'll catch him on the corners. But
But then the thing is, there's them long sweeping S bits, which used to be good for the likes of the bikes that could turn well and weren't as fast. But Ducati, well, from what they say, and Ducati can turn really well now. It's not a problem. Like they had too much power. They had too much power a few years ago, and they didn't know what to do with it. But now they've figured that out. Now they've got loads of power and they can turn. That's why they're winning everything, because they're just brilliant. It's a brilliant bike. Honestly, I think with a long race, unless Marquez can get to the front and disrupt them somehow, and that's what he tried to do at Portimao, unless he can get to the front and disrupt them somehow and try and hold them up and try and do his normal sort of Marquez mischief, I'm going to call it.
well,
Unless
he
can-
fucking disrupted a couple of people, didn't he?
unless he can do something like that, I don't see him getting in the podium with the main race. Don't see it. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb. I don't think he'll get top 5 in the main race.
Oh,
I don't
no.
think he'll get top 5.
I don't know. That's a very strong statement. That.
Yeah, well, I'm throwing it out there. Marquez isn't going to get top 5. Like in the sprint race, fuck, he could win it. Who knows? Who knows what's happening in the sprint race? But and I just want to mention that leading into Portimao, and going back to Jack Dixon here, leading into Portimao, Jack Dixon was expecting his wife.
Tread carefully.
No, Jack Dixon was expecting his wife to give birth around that time, and she ran a few days late. So then, obviously, going into Argentina, his wife gave birth, so that was on his mind. So this week, going to Circuits of the America, even though he has to leave his wife and his newborn daughter behind, this is the first week where he's not got that in his mind. I'm just wondering whether he can go in there with a clearer head, because if he can go in, if that was maybe mentally just holding him back a little bit, not that I'm saying he didn't do well, because getting a podium at Argentina was really good, up where he should be, but it'd be good to see if maybe that was maybe that weight off his shoulders, he can go out and challenge for the lead. That would be good.
Oh, maybe that was giving him the drive he needed.
Who knows? All I'm saying is I'm going to keep an eye on Jack Dixon and see if he can pull out of the bag. And as always, I'll be keeping an eye on Sam Lowes to see how he can.
Well, he won there in 2015, didn't he?
Yeah, but that was about 50 years ago.
That was probably the best. That was probably the best weekend, because Danny Kemp won in Moto3, Sam Lowes won in Moto2, and Marc Marquez won in MotoGP.
Yeah.
Marc Marquez.
I wish it was like that again.
Well, Marc Marquez isn't going to
two
win.
Brits and Marc Marquez.
But
So you want
win.
Scott Ogden to win this week, and you want
Scott Ogden, Jake Dixon, and Marc Marquez.
well.
Actually, no, I'm going to go Sam Lowes over Jake Dixon.
Who's the other British lad? Who's the other British lad in Moto3? There's another one.
Oh, Josh Watley.
I want Josh Watley to win, just to be different from you. Nothing against Scott Ogden, like Scott Ogden, just try to be different from Chippy. And Sam Lowes, because you've already said Jack Dixon, so go fuck yourself. Sam Lowes.
No, I'm going to go with Sam Lowes.
And again, I'm going to put out there, I want Johan Zarco to win, and I will fucking freak out if he does. I was listening to another podcast actually, and they were talking about the Johan Zarco mystery, the enigma inside the question that is Johan Zarco, because he's officially the most second places ever without winning a race. He's officially got that title. He's got 11 times he's come second and he's never won a race. Like, he has like probably the most second, not probably, he has the most second place ever without a race win. And they were just talking about, is it ever going to come? Blah. And they just highlighted something that I probably had to take on board, because I was saying last week that I think he can win the championship, and they were just mentioning, the podcast was Everything Moto Racing, which is very good, but they were just mentioning being and it's the same way VR46 being a satellite team. If Ducati come up with something halfway through the year and they think, oh, we want to try this out, but we don't want to put it in Bastianini's bike or Bagnaya's bike in case it's fucking shit, they're going to stick it on they're going to put it onto the satellite team's bikes. They're going to make them try it first. And then if it's really good, they'll take it off them and put it on the factory boys. But if it's shit, it's going to deter their season. So unless Bezzecchi or Zarco can absolutely nail on a title championship, and I'm thinking more Bezzecchi when I say that because he's leading the championship, unless he can nail on a title championship and actually say that don't fuck with my bike unless you're making it better, you know what I mean, unless he can do that as a satellite rider, he's going to be difficult to beat Bagnaia, because let's be honest, Lenovo's paying the sponsorship, they're not gonna be wanting to pay all that sponsorship to be having the best bits of the bike going to a satellite team.
Yes.
Used to.
Well, I'm going
Used to are just like, yes, yeah, we bad, tired.
Well, I'm going Anna Carrasco for Moto3. Come on, Anna, for the win. I'm going Jake Dixon.
That's about as much like
Moto2.
Is it Josh Watley? There's about as much like as I'm winning.
And Jack Miller for MotoGP.
Right, I'm going to give my real predictions. So Moto3, I think Jaume Masia. Moto2, Tony Arbolino. And MotoGP, I'm just going to go Marc Marquez.
Whoa. I think mine's going to have to be Moto3 Sasaki, Moto2 Pedro Acosta, and MotoGP is going to have to be Bagnaia.
I think it's going to be a phenomenal round because I think Onchu's going to win Moto3, Aaron Cannett's going to win Moto2, and Johan Zarco's going to win MotoGP, and they're all finally going to break their ducks. Because it would just be like it would be poetic enough that the same day Aaron Canet wins a race will be the same day Johan Zarco wins a race. That'll be the poetic justice of it all. And it's going to be Circuit of the Americas. Now here's a question for you. If Johan Zarco wins a sprint race, does it count?
No.
No.
Wah, wah,
It's been a main race. Do you know how happy I would be? It would actually make my year if Anna Carrasco won at COTA.
She's not going to win.
Don't
Yeah, but
get that hope up.
just imagine how fucking awesome that would be.
I'll tell you
would
what.
be so happy.
That's not going to happen. But it's. I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to be
No.
bad about Anna Carrasco, but it's not going to happen because there's some good riders in there. But
15th. She can get 15th.
If she can get 15th, and I doubt that's going to happen. I'm with Chippy in this. I don't think she's going to get a point all year. But if she can get 15th, just because Chippy will have lost and I'll get to see him riding a motorbike, I will bounce round the room so happy. But I do, Jen, think.
Just going back to sexism comment earlier, I just want to make a point that Chloe Jones was running in 4th. I think it was in Junior Supersport or Super Stock, and I was rooting for her. I wanted the girl to win.
But what about the other one that wasn't doing so well?
Which one?
Jodie.
Jodie Fieldhouse. It got lapped twice.
Yeah. And that's
as a rider, she shouldn't be there.
The second time she got lapped too, I don't think she's seen the blue flag. She was in the way a little bit, but that can happen. That can happen. Like back markers are the right racing for safety reasons. Sometimes you just got to take the line. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it was a bit tight, that wasn't it? But however, you mentioned that, you put that in the group chat. You were like, she's been lapped twice, and that kind of comes back to the whole Silverstone. It's such a short track.
Yeah, but you still shouldn't be getting lapped twice. Getting lapped once, I can understand. You're always going to get back markers, but getting lapped twice, you should not be getting lapped twice in a race.
Yeah, but they're 53-second laps. It's not a very big track.
Mm.
And she is quite experienced. She's been racing for some years now.
And maybe she had a slight problem. Maybe she was having problems. Maybe and whenever you're that far back, the media and the journalists aren't exactly rushing to your door to ask you what was going on. They just think, oh well, you're back at the field. There's nobody writing about whether she had any technical issues.
But anyway, I wanted Chloe Jones to do well. I mean, in the end, I think she finished like 15th, but she was 4th for a while. So there you go. I'm not sexist.
You are. Anyway. Is any more comments on the GP? Are we about there, do you reckon?
Yeah, who said Jack Miller? Who said Jack Miller?
Me. I did. I want Jack Miller to win.
No, you want him to win, but you...
I want him to, but he ain't getting it.
I want him to win, but...
You predict that he was going to win. But you did predict that Anna Carrasco was going to win as well, so...
No, hang on. I said what I wanted to, and then I put in my predictions.
So who do you
of
think's
who I
going to
think
win?
would.
Who do you think's going to win MotoGP?
Bagnaia.
All right, I thought you said fucking Jack Miller.
Moto 2 is Pedro Acosta, and Moto 3 is Sasaki.
Right, yeah.
That's my predictions. So
Nice and safe.
Yeah.
And
But yeah, if Jack Miller won it, well, hey!
yeah,
Definitely be putting a shrimp on the
remains
barbie.
still remains to be seen who's the number one rider in that team, because it's not clear cut. That's the one team where it's not clear cut. Because
Yeah.
you think, like, I know we say Yamaha, who's the number one rider? It's obviously Quartararo. He's a MotoGP world champion, because obviously Morbidelli is Morbidelli. Is he a 1 or 2 times Moto2 world champion? Maybe just a 1.
Has he even won it?
Oh, I'm pretty sure he has. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a world champion. Is it Moto3 or Moto2?
Is he? I'm not sure he was.
I think he is.
Oh yeah, sorry, he was 2017 Moto 2.
Yeah. It's strange to think that Johann Zarco was a 2-time Moto2 champion. Like, he won the Moto2 championship
Back to back as well.
back to back, and still only walked into a satellite team. How can he just walk into a satellite team? And then you get other riders like Quartararo, who the minute he sat his ass on a Moto3 bike before he even done anything, they had pretty much fast tracked him into MotoGP because of how well he did in the Spanish, the European Junior Cup or the Spanish Cup. They like steamrolled him in. They were already had him sitting in the MotoGP. I know he came in and done well in the Moto3 and whatnot, but. And then Johann Zarco puts all that work in, 2 times world champion, and still only gets in the... And do you know why? It's because of old crusties like Valentino Rossi who wouldn't fuck off and just move on. Move on with your life and start your team. And do you know who's doing that now? Marc Marquez is doing that now. He's holding back the new fresh blood that's coming. Yes, he is. He's not going to win a championship.
No, he's not.
He's not going to win a championship. He's not. So you might as well fuck off and let somebody else that has a chance. At least somebody else that can grow their career.
God.
I agree with Sam. Marquez.
And I'm not just saying that because it's Marc Marquez.
We're going to have to agree to disagree.
I'm not saying that because it's Marc Marquez, because you have known me for a long time, and I was saying that about Valentino Rossi for years. He was just there because of who he was. Taking up a
She's
seat.
thinking, fuck off, I want to go to bed, you fucking big bald cunt.
Pretty much. I had an
I
hour's
said the C
sleep
word.
last night.
Sorry.
That's both of us to said it tonight.
My bad.
Right, so usually at this point
Shut
in
up
the show,
and sit down, you big bald fuck.
Usually at this point in the show we would give you the who am I, but we've already done that, so we've done that at the start of the show. So I guess we don't really have anything. Have we got anything else to do? The socials. Right, so Ash, do you want to do the socials?
Do you know what? Do you want me to do it? I've never done it before, but I'll do it.
It's just reading, mate. That's all you do. Just read the doc.
Yeah, but I can't. You know what I'm like with reading and words.
The socials have been on the doc the exact same for 7 weeks now. They've not changed.
Yeah, all right then, okay. So, that comes to the end of the podcast. If you'd like to get in contact with us, the email is podcast@bigbadbs.co.uk. We're on YouTube. Just put in the Big Bad Bike Show. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content, so you don't miss any episodes. Twitter, the Big Bad BS, all one word. Okay, we had trouble with this because Chippy didn't set it up properly.
I did set it up properly.
Right, don't interrupt the socials. Instagram, the Big Bad Bike Show, just with a dash in between every one of them. And again, Facebook. Hyphen, sorry.
I'd say hyphen as well.
Okay, it's a hyphen. Fuck me. Facebook, the Big Bad Bike Show. We do have a page and a group. And then also we are all on Twitter. Sam's Twitter is @SoberCasano. Good luck finding that. My Instagram is the Up North Biker. The Up North Biker with what are they, underscores? Have I got that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a comment to that.
And then Chippy's Twitter, which is so crap. C_Ballard90. So that's Chippy's there.
9-0. Yeah, I've got a little comment that you calling yourself your Up North Biker. When's the last time you posted anything about bikes or your bike? All you post is fucking pictures and videos of your dog. That's all it's on there. Oh, I'm the Up North Biker.
No, hang on,
Here's a dog. It's just, and it's always slow motion pictures of your dog running with some fucking silly love ballad. You were always on my mind. The dog
Have you
running
had a
through.
look?
It's like, oh my
Have you had a
God.
look?
Fuck's sake, Ash's dog again.
Have you-
Jesus. I bet you fart in his face and
Let's
him
let
just
the
sniff your
Irishman.
butthole.
Let's let the Irishman shut the fuck up for a second.
Look
So
how,
if you
look
look
how
in the
defensive he gets
description-
about his dog.
If you look in this description of my Instagram, you'll see it says "Love to adventure on and off road. Follow me to see more pictures and videos of my awesome bike and dog in great locations."
Yeah, but all you see is your dog. Where's your bike? Oh, that's right, it's fucked.
No, the last time I posted with a bike was when it broke.
Welcome
And that
to
was on the
Ash's Where Am
27th
I?
of-
I'll tell you where
27th
the
of
back of the
February.
AA van. Well, yeah, the AA didn't
In
come.
fact, the
that's
last
right.
time I posted about a bike was the 20th of March, and that was about Andrea Dovizioso.
Anyway, you can follow us in them various locations. My Apple AirPods are running low on battery. They've just went boobity boobity boo. So I guess it's time for us. To say our goodbyes. That's it. We've come to the end of the show. We've not really much else to talk about. We could just keep rattling on, but fuck, we'll go to bed eventually. It is getting on 10:30. What time do we start at? Well, we didn't start till about 8:30 in the end, so it couldn't be that late. It felt like a long show. Hopefully it's been a good show.
No, I don't think it was that
No
great.
shit.
Maybe next week we'll put the socials at the front as well. Who knows? But keep listening, and if you enjoy the content, get in touch and let us know what you think. Anyway, for now, it's goodbye from me and goodbye from Ash
Yep. Bye from me, City.
and Chippy.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Jesus Mary.